Hi, I'm John Hallis from Dauntless Endeavors. Last fall, after doing a little bit of deburring here and there, massaging the trigger, we made a number of small improvements, unfortunately without any meaningful improvement in accuracy. To summarize, I think the last 15 10-round groups I'd fired averaged 1.7 inches, and maybe one of the things that bugs me the most about that is if I measured the best 9 out of every 10 shots, it came in at 1.2, which means I've got 1 out of 10 shots throwing out flyers that are increasing the group size by a ½ an inch, and that's taking mediocre groups and making them horrible. So I was surfing on the internet thinking, oh, what do I do next? What is the next step in this experimentation? And I kept coming across this idea that, the internet think that, it's common knowledge. Everybody knows a .22 rifle won't shoot its best until you just got to pour 1,000 rounds to it before it's going to shoot good. I'm like, well, I didn't know that. So I thought, you know what? I'm sitting on a round count of about 300 rounds. Will it shoot better if I shoot another 700 rounds through it? And how can I tell? How would I outline that test? Should I just go with a database that I already have established and burn up 500 rounds shooting at tin cans and then go back and shoot a few more groups? Or what? Well, the or what is my cup of tea. So what I did was, over the course of about 3 days, I shot 178 5-round groups at 50 yards. And that got me over the 1,000 round mark. My outline for the test is as follows. I started out with a barrel count of 300 rounds. I cleaned the gun, cleaned the barrel, and I shot 10 5-round groups of Ely 10X. Then I cleaned the barrel and shot 40 5-round groups of CCI Mini Mag, cleaned the barrel, shot another 40, cleaned the barrel, shot another 40, cleaned the barrel, and then finished off with shooting another 10 5-round groups of Ely 10X. So now I have Ely 10X on either end of this test, and I have the bulk of it in the middle is all CCI Mini Mag. So I've got a good continuity there for over 600 rounds with the CCI Mini Mag. Some of my viewers have already asked, why aren't you testing different kinds of ammo? Why, everybody knows what you need to do is get 20 different kinds of ammo and shoot them all and find out what shoots the best in your gun. And I get that, and I appreciate that logic, and it makes sense, but there's a huge ammo shortage going on. I happen to have CCI Mini Mag, and I've got a little bit of Ely 10X left over. And when that's all you got, that's what you shoot. Also, in my experience, it is my opinion that decent .22 ammo, or good .22 ammo, shoots pretty darn good across a whole lot of rifles. And a darn good rifle will shoot a whole lot of ammo pretty darn well too. And I've always considered CCI Mini Mag to be pretty darn good ammo. It's not match grade, but it's absolutely reliable in all of the firearms I've owned, and pretty accurate too. So I had my test outline. I knew what I wanted to do, got my ammo lined up, got my bench all set up, and now it was a matter of waiting for the weather to cooperate. And I was fortunate on December 1st and 2nd, and again on the 9th of 2020, we had some really nice weather here for Wisconsin. Weather temperatures were in the low 30s, but more importantly, the wind was 2-3 miles an hour. It was very calm and excellent shooting conditions. So across the course of 3 days, I shot almost 800 rounds, 178 5-round groups. And I'm going to throw up a couple of graphs here. The first one is the graph of the individual 5-round groups, and also the mean radius of all of those 5-round groups. what the linear regression line indicates is that there is indeed a trend of improved accuracy, and it would predict that in my rifle with the CCI mini bag ammo, over 1,000 rounds, you're going to see about 1/10 of an inch improvement. Given that you're starting out with 1.5-inch groups, you're looking at about a 7% improvement. Getting back to the Elite 10X I shot at the beginning of the test, and again, that was a much bigger difference. With the Elite 10X, my first 10 5-round groups averaged 1.47 inches, and after this 700-800 round test, I was down to my 10 5-round groups averaged at 1.13 inches, which is that's a significant difference. You know, almost 3/8 of an inch, 23% improvement. However, I'm going to come back to the relatively small group sizes that, okay, so only 10 5-round, it's 10 data points here and 10 data points here. Unfortunately, that's not enough data that it's immune to a few flyers skewing those results. So I'm more inclined to stick with the data obtained from the CCI Mini Mag. It's a huge database, and it shows, I think, a more reliable trend of you know, that 7% improvement over 1,000 rounds. What caused it? Is it truly a micro polishing of the barrel from all those bullets going down the barrel, or is it a matter of familiarization with the gun and just becoming second nature in your hands? That's the toss-up. I have a feeling that there are other variables, other factors involved when you take a new gun, put it in the shooter's hands, and you shoot round after round after round. You get used to that gun. You get used to it, you get used to the trigger, everything starts becoming second nature. And I would also wager that if you were to talk to top tier competitors in any shooting discipline, you give them a brand new gun of any quality, any caliber, and by the time they pour 1,000 rounds through that gun, they're shooting it better than when they first picked it up. Unfortunately, nothing magical happened. We still got plenty of flyers, we still got groups and exceeding 2 inches for 5-round groups. In fact, I did a quick count out of 164 groups fired through the Ruger American Rimfire. I had over 23 of them were exceeded 2 inches extreme spread. That is pretty horrible. My test results do suggest that yet there's an improvement in accuracy after 1,000 rounds, but there's nothing magical happens and there's no miracles. I have to say that after a couple days of firing so many mediocre groups that I myself was in need of some group therapy. So I pulled out my Accurized 1022 and sat back down at the bench and started firing. Let me throw some data out here. Just for comparison's sake, at the end of my test with the Ruger American Rimfire, my last 21 5-shot groups of CCI Mini Mag averaged 1.5 inches. I fired 10 5-round groups with my Ruger here, and it averaged 0.66 inches. It's 9/10 of an inch. That's tremendously more accurate. Same with the Elite 10X. The last 22 groups fired with through the American Rimfire averaged just over 1 inch, and I'm running really low on 10X, so I just fired 3 5-round groups through the 1022 here, and that one averaged 0.46 inches. So that was important for me to sort of go back and make myself feel better, but also it kind of validated that all right, the ammunition that I have, it's very capable, and it also validated that, okay, my technique, my bench, my setup, everything else is it's capable and it's up to the task. So please stay tuned for the next couple of videos. I think you'll find them very interesting. I'm John Hellis from Dauntless Endeavors. Have a great day and be safe.